Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps what was said that you can only lie to a few people some of the times, but you can never lie to all of the people all of the time has come true, because in the history of Kenya, we have never seen a Labor Day celebration being dismally attended like the one we saw today. And that actually sends a clear message that there is something wrong with the presidency. There is something wrong with the government of the day. But generally, what I noted today was very much worrying and appalling. So welcome. And in this analysis, I want us to talk about the Labor Day event. And I want to dig deeper and tell you what I really saw and my projections and my deductions based on the current level of standing that I really think is in the country. In the event you are coming to the channel for the first time, ensure you give this video a thumbs up. You can go ahead and subscribe, and let's take this forward. Now, I saw a clip from one of the regions, Eldoret to be precise, where the stadium only had two people who attended the Labor Day celebrations. When you talk of Eldoret, that is the home ground of the President, William Ruto. So the first question is, when you want to go deeper into that video, why was only two? What happened there? In the city here, the capital, the general attendance was very dismal and demoralizing in its sense. That raises another question: what really happened? Another clip that I came across is some of the, men and women from Kwaruben were lamenting that they were ferried to attend the Labor Day celebrations, but at the end they were neglected, so they were not paid their dues. That also raises a question: what is happening? What actually went down? Capsizing of a canoe is always when the canoe is nearing the shore. But unfortunately, this canoe of the man from Sugoi is far from reaching the shore. So you will wonder, why is it capsizing when it is way deeper into the lake? A big question for that matter. So I want to give you three reasons why I think William Ruto has lost his standing with the common mwananchi that he really campaigned to stand up for and to form the government with. The first reason, the promises have become very heavy to fulfill. And one of the things that I have always maintained in the videos that we do, that, it was a misplacement of priority when Ruto came into power. The long-term versus the short-term sustenance of the people were mixed up. They were jumbled up to the extent that, there was a confusion kind of. And that confusion is what we are still seeing right now. Because the people will always want to know, when you are preparing us for the future, what are you doing so that we get to be serviced or to see the benefits of waiting for the future? How are you going to sustain us? That has become a big task for William Ruto. Look at the manner in which he promised that the government will be fully a hustler government. That is now a distant view. That is a history that you take on a politician's word, that, they can never be trusted at the end of the day. So the first love which William Ruto had with the hustlers is totally lost. And that is exactly why, he cannot actually try to rejuvenate himself in the short term. Maybe in the long term, when he shall have actually tried to meet one or two of the things that he has promised that will come in the future, that is when we might see a change in the litmus paper. But in the short term, we have seen him disintegrate from the hustler base, disintegrate from the hustler nation. And that is one of the things that has made him to lose standing with the people that he said are from the bottom. The people that he said are the common mwananchi. Number two, I have noted that William Ruto has changed his tact, and this might actually mean that, as a president, he is now not acting like a politician, where, for instance, when you hire crowds, you can continuously hire them as you attend events, and maybe try to operate with the mindset of a politician that any call that you make to them, they will certainly heed to it. If you look at the people who are complaining that they were ferried but they have not been paid, and you look at the attendance, there's a big difference. There's a big distinction that perhaps, William Ruto has now left the operation of a politician that, I need to ferry crowd and make it, blossom in the manner in which I need it to appear. So it's kind of denoting something that, ferrying crowd has not been a priority for William Ruto today. And when a crowd is not ferried to an event, it definitely reveals to you the true color of the politician, the true standing of the politician, and the true temerity of the politician. There is no time for him to spend a lot, impressing the political portrayal, the picture that will come at the end of the day. After all, he may conclude that I am the president at the end of the day, and he continues actually to do whatever he does. The third thing that I've seen actually make Ruto lose ground is what I always term as, the backup that he has. He kind of have failed to harmonize a ground that will back him fully well and send a concrete message to the people in the first place, and at the same time to the nation at large, that will bring in, first of all, unity of the people, so that any event that he makes, any event that he takes as a call to action for them, they will totally obey and they will totally subject themselves to attending. So the people who are backing him, you can see the phobia that people have with everybody who is within the cycle of William Ruto. Because in the first place, what are you going to hear from them? What are you going to hear constructively from them? There is nothing that you can definitely hear constructively from them. So it has made Ruto to be a man who was loved, but because of the cocoon of lieutenants that are really standing with him, there is nothing to show up for. There is no fruit that can be seen to be developing from this brigade. And when it reaches that point, definitely the man loses ground. The man loses, kind of stature. Then maybe lastly, I will say that people have really teamed up with Raila Odinga. And they always say Raila is a man of the people. Like, for instance, I was keenly following the manner in which people were watching the national celebration versus when Raila came out to give his speech. It tells you one thing. Raila is the enigma. Raila is the one who controls the masses. If Raila cannot have the masses to his way, then they will better be left alone in their houses, better be left alone in whatever they are doing, wherever they are, and wait until Raila calls them. When Raila called for the demonstration, this is a very risky event. We have not seen, the loyal base of Raila failing to turn up for him. And so it tells you that the real extent of the honor of crowd, the honor of the people, the man of the people, at the end of the day, is none other than Raila Odinga. And so from where I see things, from my interpretation, in the short term, people will still continue to feel the heat. Even though Raila and the team will still pressurize the government, even though we will see adjustments in, the conditions of what we are seeing, maybe going to talk, trying to adjust 1-2 areas, but at the end of it, the real impact will not be felt as soon as possible. In fact, in the first year, the second year, even the third year, we will not see the real impact. People should prepare for the fourth year or the fifth year. That is when Ruto will come again with a different narrative. And because, politics is always bought on the ethnic-based reality. So the moment he comes back, whether you have been hit economically and you come from where Ruto comes, definitely, when you go to the ballot, you will not think twice of voting against him. You will still go back and vote him. So that is what is defining the politics of our nation at the end of the day. And that is exactly what he knows. So at the end of the road, in the first term, he will come back strongly enough to solidify the base and to lure, maybe to hoodwink, and to set up the ethnicity that people go to the ballot with. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? What do you have from your side? May we have a good time, and I will see you in the next analysis. Have a great time.